and see if there's anything, new habits that we can create or any confusion that we need to clear up. So the first one was young adult wellness panels. One of the things that I noticed when I was looking at last month's data is, that we only had 4 cats that actually was doing that. So I want to talk to you guys and see, is there anything that we're running into that you guys are noticing in exam rooms where we're failing with communicating to clients about the benefits of it, or kind of what you guys are hearing, so that we can maybe change the way that we communicate or what's in the panel or something to that effect. So
right away I hear the client say, well, he's indoor only. Doesn't come into contact with any other cats or outside diseases. And I say, well, we want to test for organ function, see if anything's changing on the inside that we can't see, and they might not be showing signs of anything. And it's a good baseline as we get older and all that stuff. But they get stuck on that. It's indoor only, and minimum is what I do. So
for whatever reason, I feel like with any labs in general, whether it be a young adult wellness or senior wellness or just as simple as just a fecal exam, compliance is so much less for cats than it is for dogs. And it's really bizarre. They're like set in stone, no, I'm not doing it.
I think it's more so because people look at cats as...
You can't hear?
No, I said I have a theory on that.
Oh, I thought I
said I can't hear too.
I'm sorry, what? Because cats are in, and I don't mean this in any mean way for those cat lovers out there, but they're a cheap, easy pet. Meaning owners aren't going to go out of their way to make sure that they're healthy and everything else. It's a cat that they can literally feed, put a litter box out, and they don't have to think about it again. Right, and I know. I don't believe you, but it's just
they're easy. It's not a chore as much as a dog is.
Let me challenge you guys with this too, and Meg, you probably have a good perspective on this, is as a whole, ancillary services for pets, cats, dogs, whatever, is a booming industry. So something that like PetSmart is doing, they're getting us to buy toys for them, they're getting us to buy these things. So what makes those things are like, to me, it's like, well, that's not even going to keep it living longer, but they feel good about that. So, how do we touch the feel good part of them to get them with the blood work part of it? That would be prevention. So, Megan, do you have something?
It was pretty much what was said. My theory on it as a exclusively cat owner is, I love my cats dearly, as everyone knows, but they're cats. They're not with me they're not with me all the time. I can't just take my cat with me to the family picnic. Whereas your dog, you say, come on, Fido, and you go to the family picnic.
Yeah.
You go and you wash your car and Fido comes with you. Your dog is with you a lot if you have that kind of socialization with your dog. Whereas, like you said, my cat, I walk in, I greet my cats. But it's my socialization's only at home with them, if they want to sit with me.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know if this would help. Sometimes what I'll lead with is cats are really good at hiding sickness. Compared to dogs, your dog will cry and whine, and he's with you all the time. So when he's not with you, that's weird. But with cats, they hide all the time. But they're really good at hiding it, and that's kind of what I lead on with clients. Is the very first thing you see with a cat is that it stopped eating. Well, there's umpteen reasons why your cat stopped eating. I mean, so.
Sorry. I think that like when loading exam rooms, you guys have habits. When you first go in, you're really excited. How are you? And the first thing you always talk about is vaccines. So maybe we could try changing it, like the habit loop, and talk about the lab work first. Because by the time you get to the lab work, you've already talked about rabies, December, if you have leukemia, what's that? Revolution, what's that? Lab work. So maybe we could try changing that.
To change.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe you could switch that. It might not work, but I was just thinking if you taught to do lab work first, and then they already know what rabies is, obviously. So like switch it around and try to see if our
make the blood work the most important thing.
Yeah, to see if that would work.
In the canines, what I'm seeing is it includes the Acuplex and the fecal, so the value is there. They're the best medicine.
But we still only have with that. I thought too that canines, it's a no-brainer because it's $40 more. And we had huge compliance with Acuplex and fecal, up in the 75-80% range, which is amazing. But our young adult wellness panels are trickling around 23% for April and 33% of those clients for May. So even though we feel like we do tons of blood work, there are 70% of those dogs that don't find value in that. So is that just because we're getting more comfortable with our habits and how we communicate it? Because we did see a growth from April to May on how much, but You know what I'm saying? So, but there's still a huge portion that don't believe, you aren't doing that. So, I don't know. I mean, even though there's a higher compliance with pets or with dogs, it's not. It's still not as good as what when we had fecal and Acuplex. Everybody was like, "Yep, that's great." And we changed that from doing Acuplex once a year or every other year to once a year, and we still had a good compliance with that. So, I don't know.
I think that dog owners are used to blood work, so you're just telling them that you're getting more. Like cat owners are not either, they don't bring a fecal at all, or they just bring a fecal. They're not used to all of that lab work, so it's like
I think
completely.
we have to switch our talking points to preventative medicine. Because we're not looking for anything, we're trying to prevent illnesses.
Yeah, and one
That's the
thing-
whole goal of junior wellness blood work, is not to find an illness, is to allow the doctors to catch an illness, or prevent an illness over the next few years. Because they always say, my cat's not sick, why am I doing blood work? This is our baseline. We're looking every year to catch that kidney or liver value change before it becomes a $2,000 bill.
Right.
It's all about preventive medicine.
You
It's
think
not
if we
about.
talked about, speaking to Todd, if we talked about like once you get into those kind of failures, it's
Correct.
it's hard
That's
to
why
reverse
that's why I
them.
tried to not sell
Right,
it. So I
right,
tried to
right,
prevent it.
right. And then sometimes they're not reversible and they may be on medication, so if we catch it ahead of time, maybe we can prevent something.
I always tell
I don't know.
people, even though everything comes back normal, which is what we always hope for, it gives the doctors the ability to kind of track and manage things year by year and see like if it's slightly elevating or slightly decreasing or whatever it may be. So I think that helps them because then they're kind of like, well, it's normal, I don't get anything out of it, but if they feel like they're getting something out of it,
Do you guys want to try maybe talking about it first, instead in the loop, and see if that does anything for the next month?
Yeah.
Maybe for dogs and cats, and just give it a shot. Okay. I think that's an action item that we can probably move around and just give it a shot. It may or may not help us, but
And a lot
Just
of
an
people
idea.
walk in already knowing what vaccines they're getting. So many people bring their postcard in, so they know, okay, I'm due for this and this, but let's talk about blood work. I'm not
Can
familiar
that be
with
put
that.
on the reminder card?
the young adult,
Yeah.
it will next year.
Okay.
Like as they get them now, reminders are generating, but if they already have their postcard in hand, since it's new, that could
Have
help
we pushed
compliance next
anything
year.
out to them, like in the mail, to be like,
I
hey,
haven't.
get your new adult
You think
wellness?
that's?
I think it's, like when we went to the senior wellness testing and the yearly Acuplex, we had to change their habits. And it takes a couple visits for them to break out of their old habits. So I would look for the adult wellness compliance to hopefully progress slowly this year, but next year make that leap. So.
And we're gonna consistently keep the option of the Acuplex and the fecal.
Yeah.
Like,
Separate.
I know.
Yeah, if they don't
That's
want
what's, I think that's what's hard too.
Right, if you, so you're saying if you take that out and not
Like
give
if
that
you
option.
didn't have that other cause they're gonna go with, a lot of times they're like, well, obviously I wanna go with what's
Yeah.
less
And you have to catch
expensive.
the dogs at that sweet spot, like when they're first due for that,
The first year visit.
first year visit is the optimal time to get them because they're due for everything. If they're not due for anything, it's hard to get that blood work
I
because,
feel like, why wouldn't we just
So we
go
changed
with
our,
that?
we changed our habits then
Yeah.
as their puppies. So really right now, the biggest
Yeah.
people for us to focus on is kittens and puppies so that we can start those habits early.
Right, and not
our
give them the
clients.
option, just.
Yeah.
One old lady in Little last night, she had a 1-year-old dog that said no, she didn't want to do it because she just did blood work for the spay like 6 or something months earlier.
Yeah.
maybe we sell it as yearly screening, which includes the CBC, chemistry, UA, fecal, and Acuplex. That's the yearly screening. That is our yearly
I think
preventive
that
medicine.
one, that age range is gonna be hard to
Yeah.
hit because they just had it done.
Well, when you see them for the appointment beforehand, before the surgery and everything, push for it then when you're talking about, they usually do blood work beforehand, but you could do an adult wellness screening and get that over with now, and we would have a more in-depth look at it beforehand, because it's more involved than what we would normally be doing.
But then you have to send it out, you don't know the results.
Yeah, but what I'm, like,
Before the.
they have to have an appointment before they even
Before
start
they
the
start,
surgery.
yeah.
So, when they're having that appointment and talking about the surgery,
That's a little.
just get
Yeah,
the
but most puppies are
4
getting,
months, I thought.
yeah,
because
the
you can't
puppies
do
are
the
getting seen at
Acuplex
4
after
months,
6,
they're not,
right?
Yeah.
yeah, seen.
Right, my time's up. But I have a few just update things. I just want to re-mention so we can create habits, good habits for Michelle, client updates. So make sure that we're asking them when we're doing our wellness and senior wellnesses to update their information and change change the little update box in the corner center.
Yep, and if we can start when we're checking out, just taking notice if we did do it and if we didn't do it at that point. Making sure, like the double check system with it.
Yep, and then Petly, Petly's launched, I think it's, had a good response from our clients so far with it. There's a lot of extra tools in there that we're not using because we didn't want to overwhelm everybody at first. But I invited, I want everybody, if they can, before the end of the month to set up their own Petly account if you haven't already, and start looking around at all the extra things that you can do within it, as far as like, you can get your own vaccine history and reminders and print off yourself, so you don't have to call us and have it sent, so that's a good bonus to help you guys. The other thing is we can also use medical notes and leave them messages through the medical notes, so maybe there is something for surgery discharges or something like that to get them into their Petly account. So just a couple of little things in there, and then our online store, I think the food with the online store is going relatively well for most people. I know we had a couple clients we're going to make exceptions for, and that's fine, but start thinking about too if we don't carry it here, and I wanted to remind everybody, I don't know if we're still doing this or not, but it was making sure that when we get those online requests that we're still checking our online store to see if we have it cheaper, and then contact the client. We still doing that? Okay. I don't know how that's going to be, and then if you guys have any individual feedback about Dr. Arms and you guys want to come talk to me or Todd, that would be great, just so we can get some feedback. She'll be back here again next Friday, working 1 to close. So anybody that didn't get to meet with her, please try to see her then too. So, all right, Todd.
Yeah, Stephanie, that was first on my list too.
Good, there.
I want to thank everybody for working with Dr. Arms. It went well. A good experience for her and for us, because that's what we do. When somebody comes in, we do what we do and we invite them in, and she was very pleased. Everybody who worked with her, Kelsey kind of got paired up with her when the C-section came in, and Dr. Arms jumped right in. Her and Kelsey worked as a doctor tech team for that entire surgery, and it was nice to see that. So good job, everybody.
She was thrilled about the support that you guys give her. She's not used to that kind of support. She kept thinking she was missing something at the end of every appointment because she could just do her thing and move on. So it's nice to have that outside perspective on the systems that we have in place.
And it was nice because she said, I need slides, and if you had a dog, you'd say they're over by the microscope. She would just go get them.
Right.
She didn't, she understood that, everybody was busy, so she kind of just flowed with everything. I need your iWatch. It's underneath that computer. She went and got it, and just, went and, serviced our clients, so it was well.
Yeah, she was even asking if we needed help with the C-section. I
Yeah.
was like, I think they're good
Yeah.
there.
So, I only have a few things here. Did everybody get an email yesterday from Vetfolio?
Yes.
So really quick, I want to talk about what Vetfolio is. Vetfolio brings together the best educational material in the industry through combined efforts of AHA and the NABC. Does everybody remember when we went to AHA's website and did the heartworm and the flea and tick? Vetfolio is like the latest and greatest, one-stop shop for continuing education. Because we are an AHA practice, everybody gets a free membership to it. So I signed everybody up yesterday. It's still in its infancy, so as it grows, we'll give you more information. Zoetis already downloaded a bunch of CEs, and it's going to be a good source for everybody to kind of, move forward. So
That's where the Fear Free section is.
Fear Free is going to be on there, and it's a really good site. So you can actually go in and sign up and change your password now, and kind of tool around and see what's in there. But once we find out how we're going to use it, we'll give you more information. But the first step was getting everybody signed up. So if anybody didn't get the email, check your junk mail, or it's going to come as a no reply. It'll say no reply. Vetfolio, welcome to Vetfolio, and you can go in and look around.
And it's credentialed CE, I think,
Yep.
too, for anybody that needs credits. Just keep that in mind, too. I think some of it is credentialed on there.
Their biggest thing is they put the education directly in the hands of their professionals. It's up to you to do it, and they just provide the platform.
And you guys can use those as you're creating goals for yourself too, for your monthlies. Like you can use that, to get content for yourself.
The second thing we have is everybody knows the headsets. Woohoo! So we have all 12 headsets in the hospital, and we are going to assign earpieces. So before everybody leaves this room today, they're going to tell me what kind of earpiece they want. There's 3 styles on the table. These are your 3 choices. I know Megan, I know if you need any help, please get with Amanda, and Amanda will we'll figure it out together, so. Everybody I think has used most of them, and it's gonna be good. We're not gonna pass them out till we get all the earpieces. So everybody will get their earpieces, we're gonna color code them, and you guys will be responsible for them. It's gonna be part of the uniform. So you have to use judgment and care when you're working on a big dog, or if you're, going into, surgery, you don't wanna get it wet. You have to take it off and make sure we care for these properly. Tiffany and the Hamlins kind of provide us with these tools to make us, a better practice and better communicators, so we need to, take care of these things. The new hospital, when we have lockers, it'll be the best place to store it. For now, you have to store it, where it's not gonna get damaged, lost, stolen.
Can we take them home and bring them back?
You can store it where it doesn't get lost, damaged, or stolen.
So do we
you're
get
responsible for
we get
it.
like a charger and everything with it?
No,
No.
you just get the earpieces, your only
Oh, the
earpiece.
earpiece.
Right.
The earpiece is
Oh, we're
yours.
not like the cords and everything.
The earpiece is
Okay.
yours, that whole thing is yours.
That, what's on the table right here,
Okay.
that's yours.
They do come apart, but I don't want you taking them apart, so we're not even gonna go into that.
So
That whole earpiece is yours.
yeah,
Okay.
it only touches your ear.
So,
That's
The radios will stay up here, will
Okay.
be charged up here.
and,
You haven't signed the papers on that.
yeah, on these. We have some papers here. We're gonna issue an earpiece to everybody, as part of the uniform. If it gets lost, stolen, or damaged, in a neglectful manner, you will be responsible for replacing it. So we do have a thing here for people who have keys. Everybody has a key. Or at least I signed for my key a couple of years ago that says I'm responsible for that key, and if something happened to it, I had to answer to whoever had answer to. I will pass these out. Everybody can please sign a date, and
I know.
we'll get these going. Once all the earpieces arrive, we have a step-by-step on how to use the handset and the earpiece. We will pass everybody those out as soon as the earpieces come. So, don't overthink it. It's going to be a good system. I know Dr. Hammond misses it because we're not using it yet.
Better than the
Yeah,
intercom.
we wanted to launch it,
Nicer.
so
everybody has one,
I think
like
it's
the
great.
doctors and everything.
everybody will have one.
So we're gonna like do away with the phone intercom,
Yeah.
basically.
Hopefully.
Because it also leads us into the, our whole fear-free initiative.
Yes.
When you're talking over the intercom, if somebody's working on a dog and you want it, that's a distraction for, more than just the person you're trying to contact, so.
I think it's just even so for the simple fact that there's no doubt if
Are we
somebody
to
heard
have
you
the
or not.
earpiece in like
you guys.
all the time, or like when we're loading an exam room, can we like take it?
Use your judgment. If you're in an exam room and you want to focus on the client,
Right.
you can take it out. But what you should do is you should leave it in. 'Cause what if somebody comes in and Dr. Hand's in the room and they say, I need a doctor emergency, dying. He should come out. It's gonna take a little getting used to not focus on this and focus on the client. But
Right.
Maybe you turn your volume down so you can still hear it, but it's not so loud when you're in the room.
How much has never taken it out as an unused,
Thank you.
and that's just because
You like
even
my
if there's an emergency, I'm not gonna rush out of the
But
room
they
for
can
you.
be close to $150,
Okay.
$175.
Okay.
Can
So yes, it is,
Right.
if one has to replace it, it's.
Yeah, it's substantial.
And then extra for the doctors.
I think
The
what
other
that's,
thing-
oh, go ahead.
The other thing about it is like, you're saying, oh, hearing everything, we know of another, dental office that uses this system. And they said it's just like so great, cause after a while you filter out, like, so, nobody's really, you hear it, but it's not
Right.
impacting
used to
you,
that.
they don't want you. So
Right.
you just let it go and you can continue working.
this is gonna be a habit change for us.
But you know what's going on in the building.
That was
Right,
the
which
best
is
that was the
another-
best part
which
up
is
here.
another
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
Because then you know if an emergency's going on or
If
somebody
somebody
is
Sorry.
needs
just
help or support,
Right.
you can get that social. I think it's fine.
The step by step that I printed out for us.
Okay.
How fast can you go?
I know. Thank you guys.
I think this
I'm
one
gonna
is
extra
too
much.
much.
Do you wanna talk about this?
Like, this
the
is a-
next machine
it's
real
like so
quick?
many
Because we
pieces.
said that.
The credit card?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sent an email last night, which was a little late.
It's D9.
Boom.
Hey, we got 5 more minutes. Made us have one more thing.
I sent an email out last night. It was a change form. It was a little late. We just signed up with a new credit card company. My plan was to sign up with them and then not launch them yet, but apparently we couldn't do that. So as of yesterday, we're using TSYS, it's called. And then in the email, I just explained it's for the chip cards because the X charge we couldn't accept with them. The display is a lot nicer on the machine. The client can see the amount. We could take debit now, they can put their PIN in, we're chip card compliant, PCI compliant. So everything about it has been a benefit so far. If they don't have a chip, we can still have them slide, that's no issues at all, but if there is a chip, they should be using the chip. And so far last night it went really well. There's a step-by-step on the change form, and then obviously we can show, the CCSs all can show each other. But if you have questions, just let me know. The biggest thing is you can't do a refund, you have to void a purchase. And if it's in the same day, you can void it yourself. If it's a different day, you have to call. So that's the only downfall, but everything else is pretty positive.
So if the technicians can maybe circle up front
Yeah.
throughout the month just to relearn how to do that, because it is just a tiny bit different than what the other system was, and just so you guys are aware in case you have to check somebody out.
Yeah, and the clients responded well to it. So
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
they're not like, oh, there's a blank screen. That they feel like interactive, which is really nice.
And I printed out a step-by-step and left it on that, and I'll show you a quick because I know that you weren't here yesterday. But I'm going to leave it at the front desk as a reference. I know sometimes
For
techs will pop out and fill in to
You
kind of
take
help
one
us
to
out,
one.
or even if it's just a moment that we're like, oh,
Yeah, I guess.
I forget what step to take. It's out there just as a reference page in case it's ever needed for anybody.
Okay.
Nice.
Is this because it didn't work Tuesday night, remember?
No, that was a
Well, it just gave us the chip card.
But is
This
this
has
what,
been a work in progress.
Yeah.
but I
It was
don't
just
know,
a fluke.
this just made it quicker because of what happened Tuesday. No. Okay.
Amanda and I actually tried to do this, about a month ago?
Yeah.
And we came in early to set it up, and then there was some issues, so, yeah.
You finished
Yeah.
That's not a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perturbed is a word
Sounds back in
too.
the day. Alright, are we good?
Yep.
Alright, and I just want to say real quick, yesterday we did our first day of filming, and we had a lot of other things going on yesterday, and I thought we did a really good job working together, and everything was pretty much on time. I don't think really your schedule was impacted very much with the filming, and that means that we just had really good teamwork yesterday, so I was proud of us. So, good job everyone.
The computers are on downstairs for the CCSs, and
Thank
the
you, I
surgical
like when you
admin is
do
on,
that.
so you can just jump right in, so
Oh,
there's no wait time. And the door is counted.
Look at
Look at
that.
that.
I'm not disappearing from this. I'm coming back up here for office with my name tags downstairs.
Okay, I need to check your piece before I would do it.
I get my. I thought you said something. I can just hear you in my ear.
What kind of earpiece would you like?
I haven't had the opportunity to
Okay.
purchase it.
Yeah.
I want that one that like lays over your ear, the middle one. It's the only one that fits my ear.
So the middle one.
Yeah.
Just saying, it might take up
Can I
less
put
room.
this one and try it?
Is there
Call it a layover.
hope you get in there
Round flat.
from yesterday?
You like the same one as
This
Gail?
little
Round
bread
flat.
which makes me think she's wrong side.
You know which one I like.
Does it go in your, just
I
like,
like to like
like that?
that.
Oh, I like that. Wow. Oh, yeah, 'cause when it pulls on
I look at my weight.
You have to see which one you like.
I know.
You do know?
I've not done it yet. No, I know I'm gonna leave it, but I've not done it yet.
Well,
I thought he was a little.
No, I took out what you took.
well, this
Tell me
one
what-
literally
try
just
it.
goes. We could try it.
Which is the
No, I
easiest
wanted
one?
to make sure
I think that's the easiest.
Okay.
That one doesn't fit around my ear.
You can try whatever, but I like that. I like that one. This one goes around your ear, and this goes like.
I think
So
I
it
like that
doesn't go
one.
in your ear.
It's
Okay.
like.
I think I probably want that
It's
one.
like that.
Yeah, alright.
Todd, we're telling you which ones?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Bad one's
I think
the
I tried every one.
Me too.
And that one,
bad one.
Yeah.
My ear's too short.
Yep. I like them different.
I love your hair.
I was just gonna say, that's my colorness.
Good morning. She'll go over everything.
You want this?
Thank you.
You also did too?
Oh,
Yeah.
11.
You done with the recording?
Yep,